Andreas, man, what I've been keeping up with the crazy summer of everything you've been doing with Dark Funeral and your other bands, Gra, and you have had a crazy year. How has that been for you?
Well, I don't know if it's been more crazy than usual, but yeah, there's been a lot going on. We've been doing a lot of shows, a lot of tours, a lot
Yeah.
of yeah. We are preparing to go into studio mode with most of my bands and projects right now. So looking forward to a phase of composing more than performing, I guess. Although we have some shows left.
Yeah. Now, with Dark Funeral, your vocals, but do you ever assist in the other compositions like riff writing and or you
Not much more than with opinions, you know.
yeah.
So usually Ariman send me ideas. I throw some lyric ideas on there, and we just go back and forth,
Yeah.
until we feel like we have a song,
Hmm.
And sometimes my ideas throws the song around, and yeah, but we need to put this first, or so it's a collaboration that has been working quite well for these last two albums. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
they have been amazing, man. When I was going to Maryland Death Fest this year and I saw last year that you guys were going to be here, that was one of the highlights for me. I love your music and I love Dark Funeral and that show, dude, that show was awesome, man. I just remember it was the evening you guys were coming up on stage and I remember you coming out and I you looked up because it was in between those two like apartment buildings. You had like the one department store and then an apartment building, and you were like in the middle of a fucking apartment building in the middle of the street. And it was
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
dude, it was a great spectacle of musical power. The energy was just unreal, man, to be able to finally see in person.
thank you. Yeah, an interesting location for the festival. The stage being on the main street, I
Yeah.
would say. So yeah, there was a lot of stores and the restaurants and stuff all around. Yeah, but it's I've done similar things before. I think it's a pretty cool setting, that you can actually people have access to it in a different way, because it's so fucking central. You don't have to
Yeah.
take a bus to like an industrial area or a fucking field out in nowhere. So I think it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
One of the things that I think is also cool is, there are still the people that are not part of the festival walking around because to the shops. And I
Oh yeah,
noticed that I'd see people that they did not look like metalheads and they were jamming to the music. And
oh yeah,
I think there's like a stigma that metalheads or people that are into extreme metal are like these, some are intense, but a lot of us are friendly people. A lot of us want to show you the music we're into. And I noticed a lot of people that were there for the festival talking to people around these venues.
oh yeah.
And and I think that's great. I think we need that. You know what I mean? Especially in this day and age of helping people experience that it's not just all dark and scary and we're just brooding people and hate everyone. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, but we do so.
yeah, I know, yeah, yeah, dude. It's funny you said that, dude. I was talking to somebody. I've been doing this channel, and I love connecting. Like I like this. I like one-on-one, just talking life,
Mhm.
talking music, and I love the connections that we've been able to build with people, the relationships. But dude, I struggle so hard with humanity. I struggle just with how fucking stupid sometimes things can be and how blind and how destructive things are. You know what I mean? Especially as I get older and I see things, I'm like, Mike, it's crazy, dude. That's all. We could probably have a whole conversation on like the state of the world and everything, but
Yeah. I, I I I choose to be an observer more than interacting with this shit. I mean, I think it's always been shit. I mean, the Roman
yeah,
Empire fell for reasons, all the past culture, all the past empires, I mean, it's like a fucking circle. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what we do. We're gonna die soon, and the next generation will have this fucking problem. And yeah, I've come to the point, as you say, by growing older, I don't give a shit anymore. I really don't care.
Yeah.
I make sure that I'm taking care of my shit and the people that I like around, and I don't have to be an asshole,
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. I don't have to be an asshole to anyone. But no, the state of the world, no, I'm far beyond that shit. I don't give a fuck.
How is it that you live really the north in Sweden, and how did this all come about with you and the music? And
Well, I think that not everyone, but a lot of people are searching for what they don't have. So growing
mm,
up in the fucking forest, not being able to do shit, basically, you have but it's like moving to Alaska. You have winter most of the time,
hmm
and the summertime you have mosquitoes and
hmm
shit weather anyway. Most of the summers it's gonna rain away. Going to a concert, if you have an interest in that, it's like forget about it. You don't have the money unless you
hmm
come from unless you come from money, of course. So there is a, as I said, 13-hour drive to Stockholm. Overnight train is the same amount of time. A flight, yeah, sure, if you have the money again, because
hmm
it's cheaper to fly to Greece from Stockholm than to the north. For some fucking reason, domestic flights are stupid expensive.
Yeah.
So I always just wanted to get the fuck out. You know, Back in the 90s, you see all these magazines and stuff. You see all these concerts happening everywhere, and you might get whatever is the popular Swedish thing. Maybe they come semi-north, to do a show, but it's nothing they're interested in anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to get the fuck out. So I started moving gradually south, and just because if you're aspiring to any kind of career, you cannot live in the north unless you want to work in the mine or if you want to go skiing every fucking day
Yeah.
or maybe play ice hockey. But even those teams are not so frequent up there, so you probably have to move south anyway. So yeah, I think everyone is looking for a contrast to what they grew up with,
Yeah.
uh, because the grass is greener and all that shit. It is in many aspects, and in other aspects, it's not. I mean, if you like a very quiet life, the north is perfect. Nobody's gonna even talk to you. You can be completely isolated.
Yeah.
But I never wanted that because I wanted to play music and I wanted to, see the fucking world. And that was impossible from there. And even Stockholm is a drag going anywhere. Wherever you want to go from there, you have a connecting flight somewhere in Central Europe.
Yeah.
So flight prices are you're paying twice the price for wherever you want to go. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I said the grass is always greener. But yeah, I just wanted to get the fuck away from there as soon as I
Ha-
could. And
ha-
Stockholm is a hub. It's a city at least.
mhm.
So you have some connectivity, you have some kind of scene there, you have some actual concerts happening, bands
Yeah.
are actually coming there. Gothenburg is another one that I actually think is better.
hmm
People are more friendly. Stockholm have this Paris complex, like this capital city complex.
Mm.
So yeah, for me it doesn't fit me so well. But yeah, basically that's how I ended up in the south of Sweden. I mean, Stockholm. Spent 15 years in Stockholm or so.
hmm
But I'm on constantly traveling, so I don't have to see that shit anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that you've gotten older, do you crave the that not isolation, but that quietness of the North? Or do you still
No,
no, you're yeah.
no,
I
no,
know.
no. I'm done with that. I mean, I've seen my grandparents die alone, in a fucking house that becomes their prison, because they cannot leave it because the pipes are gonna fucking freeze if there is an electric shortcut or something.
Yeah.
Then you're breaking all the plumbings. And no, I'm not interested in that. And if
Yeah.
I get older and I'm less mobile, I'm gonna totally be a prisoner. And no, no.
Mm. What do you think, man? You've been doing this for a long time, and this journey, you said you're an observer, and you can totally see that, man. You can see that about you, that you are somebody that watches. And it's very interesting because when when people see you live and when I saw you live, that was one of the things that I think the energy that you give off is really cool, where instead of being like super in everyone's face, you would stand there and you're just watching. And I think there's like this this feeling of like, what is going on in this dude's head? What is he thinking? What's and but it's cool, man. It gives off. Some people will be like, "Oh, why isn't this person having more energy?" But I think it fits the way you do your thing, the way your energy you give off. So, I said all that to say, you've been doing this for a long time. What have you what have you discovered about yourself on
in
this
regard to.
journey? Regarding just your growth as a person and who you are. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess it kind of does. I mean, you have when you're young, you have fantasies, and you have ideas. You're full of them. You're full of opinions on how things should be and what is good and what is bad, and you know everything, right? Up
Yeah,
until your maybe early 20s, you know everything.
yeah.
You know the fucking world. You have it
Hmm.
all set. The older you get, the more you realize, in my opinion, or in my perspective, is that nobody knows fucking shit.
Yeah.
We are just as stupid when we're 40 as when we were 20.
Hmm.
Hopefully, we become a little bit more humble about it. And as you point out, maybe observe instead of speak sometimes. Uh, that is way more educational, instead of hearing your own voice all the time. I mean, I get this hour on stage when I can only hear my own voice. Nobody else is speaking but me. I have that space. So the rest of my life, I don't have to go around speaking all the time. I mean, I do interviews and I interact with people. I have friends, and all of those things. But I try not to orate so much, and I do prefer to listen. If that makes sense.
It
Maybe that's
does.
something that I've taken with me throughout the
Yeah.
years, because some people, they cannot get enough of their own voice, and that, yeah, after a while you just shut off.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of a superpower because I think when you're speaking so much, you're not taking time to listen. You're not taking time to hear the voice of others and to soak up what maybe others need to say or things that might actually help you grow if you're fucking talking all the time. Um, yeah, yeah, I didn't mean to dive into it so deep, but that's one of the things I kind of picked up before you even said about yourself, about being somebody who observes and everything, and that energy, you can see that about you. You know what I mean? And I think it's rad. I think it's killer, you know? I think people need to listen more. I think people need to um, pay attention to what's going on. And
It might be helpful in a lot of cases, actually. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, dude.
And also that good old proverb, if you don't have anything nice to say, you better just shut the fuck up. Better to not say anything at all.
Yeah, yeah, man. So you said I think I saw something about your exposure to like I think more extreme metal came from the Greeks.
Well, the Greek scene was important when I was starting to dive into black metal. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, yeah, absolutely. Me and my cousin, who was my age, he's dead now, unfortunately. Went to his brother's room when we were kids, which is also dead now. So yeah, one thought to them. But we
Hmm.
snuck into to his room, and we started like borrowing albums, and we went to his room and we copied them to cassette and put them back before he would notice.
Hmm.
So there was a bunch of Greek bands in there. I mean, Varatron, for example,
Yeah.
um, Necromantia. Those the old league. So I really got attached to that sound because it sounded different from anything else.
Yeah.
They already back then had a unique sound, and that's something that kept with me. Nowadays, I know a lot of these people in those bands, so it's pretty cool to connect with them and talk about the old ways and how they did things, because there's a shitload of drum machines on those things. They took they took some shortcuts because they had to, not because they wanted to, you know.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of things, you know, like this whole debate about this shitty sound, you know, like this rehearsal place kind of sound. In Scandinavia, most of those things happened also for the same reason, because nobody can fucking afford a studio,
Yeah.
but they still want to put out a demo. They still want to make progress with the band, you know. So that's when you create this lo-fi sound. And the Greeks had a similar thing with the drum machines because they didn't have so many drummers, and if they did, rent that fucking place to record the drums would be stupid expensive. So you have a lot of different aspects of it, which is very interesting to see how something actually, when it came from zero, because there is a zero point where the whole genre of black metal didn't exist, you know.
Hmm.
And those first formative years, how it came from this kind of poor background, if you want, like financially poor background,
Yeah.
and that's kind of from where it started to spring up.
It's we're kind of spoiled today. You know, we will I notice some people will hear like a new band come out, right? And like what you said, and a band will do the best they can with what they have. Not
Yeah.
everybody can afford studios, not everybody can afford drums, so they do what they can. And I try to, when I'm listening or reviewing, I'm always trying to keep that in the back of my mind. You know, I try to focus on the melody of the riffs or how the vocals are coming out and everything. I try to really take that if a band sends me something and it's their first EP, it's their first EP, man. Like I try to have grace and not be so critical on, well, the drum quality could be a lot better and no, dude. How are the riffs? How are the melodies? How are the you know what I mean? Because like what you said, people are doing the best they can, and I can only imagine 30, 40 years ago, they're they're doing the best they fucking can, you know, and it's good that they kept going. It's funny because the Greek scene is big for me as well. Like I love a lot of Greek black metal and death metal bands. Like I love Septic Flesh and they were big for me. There's a sound
Yeah.
in extreme Greek metal that I don't know what it is about them, but it just stands out compared to a lot of cultures of the world. There's something in the
There,
water.
there is there is a culture there. Yeah, there is a cultural element that is undeniable, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, they're proud. You could tell that their sound is truly embraced. And
Yeah.
that's cool, man. I picked up on because I think I saw something where you said that it was Verathron that you was kind of your exposure. And I said, man, yeah, it's I don't hear that a lot with people being introduced to black metal through Greece, which is cool, you know. Um, you have you have three projects and then you have a solo project, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Something
Dude,
I don't really keep track anymore. I'm doing a lot
yeah.
of things at the same time, but yeah, basically, yeah.
How do you stay mentally fresh?
Well, the thing is that this is what I do. This is what I do from when I wake up until I go to bed. I'm not sitting with a PlayStation or Netflix or HBO, you know.
Hmm.
I prefer to sit with my guitar, or I work with my computer, as you see behind me here. Uh, and there is always something to rehearse. There is always some song to work on. There is always something going on. And if it's not that, then it's administration. So there is, you know, being a musician is, I would say, 15% playing music. The rest is just online bullshit, digital shit,
Hmm.
or paying bills, or you know, like networking, whatever. So it's a surprisingly low amount of actual music playing, but that's what I'm trying to find the time to explore. And if I don't have a show with our funeral coming up, or if I already know all the songs we're gonna play, we've been doing, maybe we're gonna do a same set list 3 months in a row. I don't have to rehearse that, you know, because it's in the back of
Hmm.
my head. But I still want to do something musically. So I have ground aside that I've always had even before I was in their funeral, and there I compose, I write music, I write lyrics. There is always a T-shirt design to work on or something. And if there's not there, I also have you know the next thing. So there's always something that I can do, and usually you have a lot of dead space in between. I mean, for example, in between Dark Funeral concerts, it
Yeah.
can be a couple of weeks of nothing, and I really can't do nothing for a couple of weeks. That drives me fucking crazy.
Mm.
So there's always something going on, and yeah, I'm also doing my solo project with a lot of really cool people involved. So that is also something that we are figuring out how to do that. So there's always a new challenge, around the corner, and there's so much to learn, and I am still interested in doing this. I'm interested in music. I'm interested in developing my sound, the sounds of my bands, and all the aspects of it. Much more fun than a PlayStation, for example.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, like when it comes down to Andreas and what you want your life to say, like when you get to the end, you're dying, right? You're about to die. What do
Hmm.
you think? What do you think you've always been trying to say to the world or to people? Like, what do you think your life was always trying to say?
I don't think I'm trying to say so much to people more than to myself.
Mm,
I make the music for me. I don't make the music for others. That I'm part of the music business is a positive side effect, because
mhm.
it also allows me to keep making more music. So there's in the bottom line, it's a very egocentric reason for me to doing this because I like it. I don't do it for anyone else. And what
Mhm.
is what is left when I'm gone, I don't really care because in the end, I'm not there to enjoy or disenjoy or be angry about it
Yeah.
or whatever. But I've been thinking about mortality a lot throughout my years, and probably you can see that in my lyrics also. So yeah, I do want a tombstone when I die. That's something that would be cool. That would be really nice.
Yeah.
Something nice. And I want a coffin. I don't want to be cremated. I want the worms to eat me.
Yeah. That's metal as
Yeah.
fuck, dude.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, but yeah, those are the things that I'm happy to leave behind, like a coffin in the grave and a tombstone.
I
Fine by
heard
me.
I think I forget where it is, but I heard this thing where certain people, I forget what culture, whatever, but they would put a tree seed in them when they die
Ah, okay.
so that a
Yeah, yeah.
tree will start to sprout out of their body and your body will be the nutrients for the tree.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's
I
pretty.
pre- I prefer a stone.
Yeah. Well, you could do your stone, but have a tree over 200 years come at you. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's just gonna flip my stone over. No fucking way.
yeah. No, dude, that's cool, man. It's very interesting. I'm 38 and for most of my life I've been I grew up in a Christian household and
Mm.
I was like super devout for 20 years. I was a missionary. I traveled the
Okay.
world. I lived overseas. I preached the gospel. I was it was wild, man. It was a wild time
Yeah.
of life. And I had this rebirth. I don't like to necessarily, I do have a disdain for religion, but I'm more focused on spirituality, the
Mhm.
the growth of one person. I think as humans we're pretty spectacular if we could embrace that. I think we can do amazing things. I think
Mhm.
the world is not meant to be in a box. I think there's amazing experiences that we could have if we would allow ourselves to feel them, and
Absolutely.
it's funny, as I've gotten older and I remember like walking away from the faith, you were talking about what you want when you're at the end. And for me, I've realized, I'm gonna die one day and I want to have this mental book of memories. I find that I want to be around good people that bring life into me, just like I hope I bring life into them. And I want to make as many amazing memories as I can. I just want to overflow with positivity and positive people. And like that's kind of became my purpose after walking away from a faith of 20 years, that I thought that would be my whole life. So it's really interesting. And I'm with you. As I get older, I really think about living and I really think about leaving behind legacy. You know, what does like my life say when I'm gone? What was my life like while I lived? How did I affect people? Were we positive? Are people, when they think of, Andreas, are they going to say, wow, man, I met that guy once and it really affected me. He, maybe he said something or same, I think about that shit.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Well, then you think about the next step that these people also pass pretty probably pretty shortly after or even
Yeah.
before you.
Yeah.
So does it really matter so much?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
in the end of, I mean, 50 years is not a long time. So 50 years after both you and me are dead, there will be very few people that actually remembers anything we said, aside from what we maybe published online or put
Yeah.
on a vinyl or something like that. So I don't know. I'm happy with the stone. I think the stone will be there for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. So
that's good enough.
I don't mean to hit with deep questions. I typically think that kind of way, you know what I mean? I'm always but yeah, man. Uh what do you have your projects you're working on. You said that you like to really kind of stay busy. What are you listening to in your free time?
Well, a lot of things. I do like to listen to stuff that I usually already know,
Yeah.
uh, because I don't want new impressions anymore, because that is what I'm creating with my own music. I'm creating a lot of new impressions for myself. I'm exploring and all that. So
Hmm.
when I do have that time to listen to an album, I usually go to something that I already, an old vinyl, an old battery vinyl, or I don't know. I listen to a big variety of styles, maybe something by Johnny Cash or an old Willie
Yeah.
Nelson album, or The Doors, these things that I grew up with. And you mentioned memories. I think that I prefer to go to somewhere that I have a memory already, because my exploration lies elsewhere these days. When I was younger, I was more interested in exploring new music and exploring the everything that was there. But maybe by having growing up with this kind of music, that that wanderlust has kind of slowed down, and I read like a report. It was like a study sometime that when you pass 30-ish, that's usually when your musical taste is established, and it's very hard to absorb new things into,
Yeah.
like, oh, I really like this. This blew my mind, because you are usually already in the patterns. And if you do explore something new, it's very likely it's going to be an artist that you have liked for a very long time, because it's a
Yeah.
familiar voice, it's a familiar way. So I don't know, it's an age thing, and I think that applies to me very much, because I rarely listen to new things, which is kind of stupid of me and a bit shitty, because I want other people to listen to my new shit. I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to expand. Of course, I want to expand my own field, but from me, I have a hard time doing that myself. So of course, I'm not going to be judgy if people are just passing my shit by and listen to what they are used to listening to. So it's yeah, kind of like that. I think the last vinyl I listened to was actually an old battery. The Return, I think I
Yeah.
have it still on the record player. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, it's funny you said that about the study. I have found that I don't get the cold chills like I do with new music. And if I do, it's like it's rare. It's like, oh man, I really wow. And so I find too that I go back. I kind of stick to what I know and I listen to a lot of music and to help I love bringing attention to artists. That's my thing, man. I love that. Um and I've heard amazing stuff, but I still find I'm going back to old albums that I remember maybe this album there's a feeling attached to it that I remembered when I was
yeah,
16
exactly.
or I sometimes dude I don't know if you ever got into like Steppenwolf but I have this
Yeah, a bit, yeah.
greatest hits of Steppenwolf that is so psychedelic and wild that I crave that. I
Yeah.
need that crazy kind of, you know, vibe, and yeah, I find too, I relate to that. I go back to those days when I first heard the sound, and it kind of blew my mind, those artists and everything. Um and I get what you mean too, because I create music as well. And it's like I want people to discover it, but I also find that I'm gonna just go back 20 years and listen.
Yeah, yeah, and it's sometimes I feel a bit shitty too because of course a lot of people are sending me links to their music and want me to listen to it, but
Mm,
I would I would be happier if they send it to journalists to review because I am not the target group in the end. I will put on the Mysterious Dom Satanas in my car
mhm.
because maybe I have that window to listen to something. Oh, I have 2 hours of driving now. Oof, I can listen to whatever I want. I don't have to repeat Dark Funeral lyrics or Gra lyrics or something like that. So I will go with something that I know 100%,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna sing along.
yeah,
So, so yeah, it's a little bit unfair, and it's very hard to explain because it's like, oh, but why don't you like? But it's not about that. It's about me. I have to choose the little time I have. I'm sorry, I'm not a
yeah,
journalist. I'm not reviewing albums for a living, and I'm not listening to music in that way.
yeah.
So yeah,
I,
trying not
I,
to be an asshole, but probably I come out as an asshole, and that's
I,
fine, I guess.
I
I live
totally,
with it.
I get that, man, because I don't like sending my music to artists. Like I've become friends with artists and bands, but I don't send my music. If they bring it up, they go, "Hey, I noticed." Okay, yeah, I do. If you want to check it out, you can. I
Yeah,
don't like
sure.
to do that. I love the genuine connection if a connection can be had. You know what I mean? So I get that, dude, and yeah, I've had moments, and I've had moments. I'm not, on your level, but I've had moments where people are calling my social media from like other countries to like, "Hey, did you listen to our song yet?" And I'm like, "Why are you calling me? Don't don't call my phone on, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I have disabled all those functions. I don't have any notifications on any social media either. It's impossible because of time zones and all that shit too. If I have a pling every time someone send me a message, I'm
oh,
gonna go crazy.
yeah, dude.
So
I
yeah.
can imagine, man. Dude, I wanted to end with first of all, I really appreciate you taking time today, man, to hang out with me, talk about your life, your journey. I find that very fascinating, interesting. And I hope that we were able to talk about things that maybe you don't typically talk about. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It wasn't the normal. What is your inspiration?
what is it, by the
That, that
way?
that's
Yeah.
the hardest question to answer when you have like these more generic interviews and they're asking what is your inspiration and how the fuck do you define that? How long is a rope?
It changes all the
How
time.
wet is water? It changes from moment to moment, and so
Yeah.
that is actually like the question that I dislike the most, and that's the most common one,
Yeah.
and that's the one everyone wants to know. They want the sauce. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
everyone wants the sauce, but there is no sauce. That's the problem. There is no sauce. There's just the pillow was fucking wet this morning. I got pissed off and I wrote something about hating everything,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Yeah. Dude,
The
and if pe
shampoo ran out. Right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. What did
the truth isn't so fucking romantic.
yeah, how did you write Let the Devil In? Oh man, I stepped in dog shit on the way to the studio. Yeah, dude. No, man,
Yeah.
I appreciate it, dude, and I always want you guys to have a good time, man, and have a good conversation. So I do appreciate your time. I love looking back at what you've already done, your legacy as of now, and I'm excited for your future. I know that you got some tours coming up with Gra. You're coming to America?
We're going to Mexico on Monday.
Mexico, and then
Yeah.
are you planning an American tour after that, or just right now Mexico?
No, no, we're doing 4 shows in Mexico, and
Hmm.
and that's it. For a band like Grice, it's not really possible to get into the United States
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
the visa situation. It's too expensive. And yeah, I don't know. People are often asking me about this. So I might as well tell you as well. The visas are expensive as fuck to take.
They're terrible.
No, to apply for.
Yeah.
And if you're not approved, you don't get the money back.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And it's actually thousands, plural, of dollars per person to apply. That's the
Mhm.
first step. The next step is to prove that you are a famous enough artist, because that is one of the criteria to get the artist visa. To be able to prove that you are famous enough, you need to show record label, you need to show how many shows you played. You have to actually convince someone in an office that you are famous enough to get this visa. And if they
Yeah.
don't think you're famous enough, you're gonna get rejected, and then you're gonna have no money back, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to do all that, and then before you do this shit, you also have to have the shows planned, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to have shows to play before you apply.
Yeah. So, and then if your visas fall through, then everything was for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then you have the starting cost with flights, you have the starting cost with tour bus, with crew and everything. So for a band like Grau, we don't have that kind of infrastructure. So it's actually impossible
Yeah.
for us to get to the United States unless someone with a huge wallet just decides to let the dollar bills fall rain on us, you know.
Yeah.
uh, Sadly I don't see that happening, but what we can do is go to countries like Mexico, for example, because they are more welcoming to guest workers, because that's what we are.
Hmm.
So I think with the United States we fall in the same category as a handyman, or they might think that we don't need another pool guy from Mexico.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so we fall in the same category as that, or as the case is in Sweden. We are also kind of starting to do the same shit for work visas. You have to earn a certain amount of money for it to be proven that you're an important enough imported worker.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things there. So I don't see Gra coming to the US unless something drastically changes with your policies. And I don't see that happening either. So I do encourage everyone that lives near the border to come down to Mexico, because Mexico is fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I didn't live in Mexico, but I lived in Latin America for over a year, dude, and it's a totally different vibe compared to
Yeah.
America. It's yeah, it's cool, man. I've been to Europe, I've been to Ukraine and everything, but no, dude, I'm excited for your projects and also your upcoming tours. And do we have new Dark Funeral in the works?
We have new everything in the works.
Yeah.
We are working. I'm working on all fronts right now. There are stuff coming from right and left. So basically, I think we don't have so many more shows at the end of the year. I think I have 8 or something in total. But that's it. So basically, entering writing mode, composition mode
Excellent.
with all the projects at the same time, which is kind of good because you can actually have your mindset on that instead of
Yeah.
so much administration of with touring and stuff.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for your journey, dude, and I wish you health and just good journeys, dude. And
Thank you.
thanks again for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
No worries.